What's up, y'all? It's your boy Mike K. Smith back with another fire stream. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? Man, it's been a crazy past, I want to say, 24 hours in the WNBA landscape when we talk about a lot of just great games, and also just when we talk about these rookies, and they keep making moves, they keep making waves, they keep showing that this arguably is going to possibly go down as the greatest draft class probably in WNBA history. Like, that's how lethal this draft class is in the WNBA, and also maybe not the best overall. I don't know. I had to really dive deep into history, but probably could be the best overall, but also probably the most like potential famous draft class to really change the game for the WNBA landscape. When we talk about CaitlinClark, of course, when we talk about AngelReese, and we're going to get into both of these generational rookies in a minute. But they also got players like Cameron Brick, Arika Jackson. They got Cardosa from the ChicagoSky, who's really coming on. And when she gets more minutes and stuff, she's very polished around the rim. Like, she's very efficient. And they also got Aaliyah Edwards down in D.C. It's some talent for this rookie class. And it's very, very special. But the two ladies that are the most popular ladies, not just for this rookie class, but the most popular probably, I want to say, players in the WNBA right now in CaitlinClark and AngelReese. It's like every time I feel like CaitlinClark just completely shuts the door shut, closed the water off when we talk about the Rookie of the Year race. And I still believe it's CaitlinClark, and I still think it should be unanimous for CaitlinClark winning a Rookie of the Year award. But it just seems like every time CaitlinClark does something spectacular or breaks a record, here comes AngelReese breaking a record of her own and reminding y'all, hold up now. I know y'all think that CaitlinClark is a foregone conclusion, but I'm still here. And when we look at CaitlinClark and we look at AngelReese, once again, for merchandise sales, they are the top players in the WNBA, the most popular players in the WNBA. When we talk about merchandise, when we talk about the gear, when we talk about, ticket sales, when we talk about jersey sales, things of that nature. And it's phenomenal to see. But on the basketball court is where the bread and butter is, what I care about the most, the purity of the game, hoops in general. What CaitlinClark and AngelReese are doing on the basketball court has been phenomenal this season as rookies, and really came on with a lot of hate, both of them in a variety of different ways, whether it's their fan base trying to pin against each other and one fan base complaining about the other, but also when it comes from like people in the media and legends really, critiquing their game and saying that, they're not going to be what they were in college. They're not going to have the same impact right away in college. It's going to take some time to develop. It really hasn't been that. When we talk about CaitlinClark, when we talk about AngelReese, of course they have hit rookie walls, because rookie walls is always going to be hit when you're a rookie in various situations. But they really came out and really have showcased their talent and ability. And without question, to me, CaitlinClark is a top 10 player in the WNBA right now. And you can make a case that even though I feel like Sabrina Ionescu is the best guard in the WNBA, you can make a case, some people can make a case probably that CaitlinClark is right there. And at least CaitlinClark is probably the best traditional point guard when we talk about handling the ball, passing, facilitator in the WNBA right now, as well as the best passer in the league right now already. Top 10 best passer in the league. Make a case for the best guard already. A case for the best guard already. I'm not saying she is. This is as a rookie. That's the scary part. 17, 5, and 8, 41% from the field right now. Her shooting ability is constantly been improving. Her jump shot is been improving. She's getting back to her Iowa days. And once she gets that sniper back and fully loaded, you really got to watch out, because now we're going to talk about a player whose scoring ability is just as lethal as her passing and playmaking ability. So it's going to be very fun to watch. It's going to be very fun to see what's going to happen as these rookies continue to try to lead their teams into the playoffs and to make a playoff push. But AngelReese comes out and she makes history. She's now the fastest player in WNBA history to reach 20 double-doubles in a single season. I'm saying it again, AngelReese is now the fastest player in WNBA history to reach 20 double-doubles in a single season. I think she's coming up on the all-time record set by Tina Charles, I believe, which I believe is like 22 or 23. I'm not sure, but she's coming up on that record. We know CaitlinClark just broke the single-season rookie assist record against the Seattle Storm. And these are rookies. We are talking about rookies that are coming in and breaking records, and we understand that records are meant to be broken, but they're breaking records, it seems like, every other night in the WNBA. And they're doing it in different types of ways. And also they both have a lot of game to continue to improve on or work on to reach their ultimate and full potential. But it's been phenomenal to watch. It's been phenomenal to watch CaitlinClark be a 4-level scorer and shoot bombs from the logo. It's been phenomenal to watch AngelReese, get on the glass offensively and defensively. It's been phenomenal to watch CaitlinClark's playmaking ability, which some people would say that is her best attribute. I know I feel that way. And we're talking about CaitlinClark and her playmaking, her passing ability. It's like we're skipping over like, her just being the best playmaker and passer in the WNBA, but we're talking about some of the greatest playmaking ability and passing ability and court vision of all-time greats to ever play the game, regardless of gender, when we talk about CaitlinClark and her passing ability. And when I say regardless of gender, we're talking about just hoops. Once again, hoops is hoops, no matter the gender, no matter the race, no matter the league. Hoops is hoops. And CaitlinClark, for her court vision, for her passing, for her playmaking ability, it's up there with the all-time greats. And AngelReese, for her rebounding ability and being a generational glass cleaner, she's up there with some of the all-time greats. And 20 points, 19 rebounds. I know some people, and make sure y'all get in the chat, ask y'all questions. I know some people are going to say that the game was out of reach against the Mercury, but at the end of the day, you still going out for your team and trying to fight and trying to cut the league short and trying to go out there and make the game a game. You have to give credit when credit is due, especially if the Mercury still has some of their starters out on the court as well. You have to play the game, regardless of, it's up to the coaches to take you out and things of that nature. But these two rookies are generational. They're as simple as that. They're generational rookies. We would forever talk about this rookie season that CaitlinClark is having and AngelReese is having. And it's almost like when we were talking about LeBron James and Carmelo Anthony going at it for the Rookie of the Year award and really battling and showing how great and skilled that they are and how talented they are. And everybody was talking about how this is the future. Like they were watching in 2003, watching LeBron James, watching Carmelo Anthony. And it just seems like every other night, LeBron James was doing something spectacular and Carmelo Anthony was doing something spectacular. It just seems the same situation with CaitlinClark and AngelReese. It seems like both of these players are doing something spectacular in different types of styles, and they've been box office. They've been generational as rookies. And what I like about both of CaitlinClark and AngelReese is that both of them have that mentality of, we going to play on the court and I'm going to talk and back it up. And I love that because I feel like a lot of times in this PC culture, PC generation, and sometimes PC hoops era that we're in at times, it sometimes feels like players don't want to talk. Players don't want to, pop off and talk trash. Players don't want to have that mentality that some of the all-time greats had, for it's like, it's a kill to be killed, dog eat dog. When I step on the court, I'm coming for your heart. I'm giving you everything I got. The mentality that Michael Jordan had, the mentality that Larry Bird had, the mentality that Kobe Bryant had, the mentality that Kevin Garnett had. Like, I love that about CaitlinClark, and I love that about AngelReese, that they will pop off. They gonna talk their shit off the court, on the court, and they're gonna back it up with their play, and they're not really afraid to show emotion. And that's what I love about both of these players, because they show emotion, they show passion. And I feel like that's what's missed in the game. A lot of people don't love the game, but watching CaitlinClark and watching AngelReese, I can tell that they really love the game of basketball. And regardless of who you feel is better, and regardless of who you want to win the Rookie of the Year, and regardless of the tension between the fans, their different fan bases, I think everybody can come into agreement that both of these young ladies love the game of basketball. And also they have a long way to go for us reaching their fullest potential. We talked about CaitlinClark, how even though her playmaking and her passing ability and court vision is there, her shooting, her scoring ability is going to find its way. We talked about that, but she also has things that she needs to improve on as well to be this complete basketball player to reach her fullest potential. And one of those things is taking shots in the mid-range. We saw it against the Seattle Storm. We saw her take a step back midi from the second level in the basketball court, which was cool. She made one, she missed one, but I love that because that's the area of the game that she needs to work on, that she needs to improve. We also saw her hit a floater as well against the Seattle Storm. That is something that we want to see her develop, want to see her to continue to improve on and work on her game. When if you don't have a three and if you don't have a layup, can you work on your in-between game and still be dangerous? Because at the end of the day, we know that you're going to have to use the in-between game in the playoffs. Or if they stop you from getting all the way to the cup, can you hit a layup? I mean, can you hit a floater? Can you hit that TP, that Tony Parker floater? Is areas in CaitlinClark's game that she has to improve on, and it's in the second level in the basketball court to reach her fullest and ultimate potential, and I think she will. And also, it's areas in the game that AngelReese needs to improve on, and we're starting to see her take more shots from the second level in the basketball court. Kevin Garnett even came out and tweeted. He said, "Yup, I see it. Reese got an elite second jump on the glass like Matrix, 20 boards and damn near 20 points. Face-up game looked legit last night too. Face-up game talking about face-up and pulling and hitting that 15 jump shot. That is very important for AngelReese because if she can develop and be able to be a vital offensive threat at the second level in the basketball court, that's going to open up her game. She needs to continue to work on that because it's going to open her game up more, but also it's going to increase her overall skill set and make her even more dangerous offensively. She also needs to work on scoring around the rim. As great as she is, she's averaging 13 points, 12 rebounds right now, but she's shooting 39% from the field. And that's terrible when we talk about big men. And I know it's a lot of big men in the WNBA that aren't showing a high field goal percentage, for his layups and around the rim and in the post. But at the end of the day, being a big man, being in the post, you have to be able to at least shoot 50% from the field. And when she's shooting 50% of the field, she looks like a totally different basketball player, which she did against the Mercury. She shot 8 for 16 with 20 points, and she was taking jump shots and jumpers as well. So we look at CaitlinClark, we look at AngelReese. Both of these ladies need to improve on the second level in the basketball court. And it seems like over that break, both of them are starting to add different things to their game because AngelReese was taking more jumpers in the second level, even though she hit some, she missed some. CaitlinClark taking the floater, taking more step back minis as well. That's something that we like to see. We love this, and regardless of the make, miss, whatever the case may be, we love to see them working and improving because that means they're taking the game serious. And that means they have the right people in their ear telling them things and showing the things that they need to work on, whether it's the analytics, whether it's the player development staff. They have people in their ear trying to make sure that they can reach their ultimate and fullest potential. And you love that as a sports fan, you love that as an analyst, you love that as a coach when players aren't satisfied. Because what CaitlinClark and AngelReese are doing right now, if they never did anything else right now, we'll both be looking at potential Hall of Fame careers. If they did nothing else, if they didn't really improve their game at all right now, we're looking at 2 Hall of Fame careers. But we know they're going to get better. We know they're going to improve. I think CaitlinClark at her fullest potential can average what she was averaging in college at her fullest potential. I think someday she can average 30 points per game. That's how good she is. That's how lethal she is. That's how dominant of a pure scorer and hooper, and when her jump shot is flowing, and she hasn't even really touched on playing off the ball yet. I think AngelReese, if she develops a jump shot, also develops her game around the rim, I think at her prime, she's a 20 and 10 a night girl easy. I think both of these players have the chance to be generational. Jeffrey Pierce, Cardoso is being wasted to prop up Reese far better. I don't think she's being wasted. I don't think anything is to prop up each other. I think they want to have a big man tandem, similar to the San Antonio Spurs with David Robinson and Tim Duncan, similar to when Candace Parker and Lisa Leslie were playing the game. There's nothing wrong with having two bigs and that are eventually going to play with each other, especially if we got AngelReese developing her game where she could be more of a threat and also a threat from the second level on the basketball court and be able to score 15 to 18 points. I can't agree with that, Pierce. I can't agree with that, chat, because I've seen big men work together. And also when we talk about the WNBA, the biggest difference between the WNBA and the NBA is that the WNBA is everything is predicated on skill set, running sets, and it's also not as modernized as the NBA game for us. Like, yes, there's spacing in the WNBA, but it's not the same as the level of spacing at the NBA level because you can still have two bigs on the court, and a lot of teams are developing their own play style. They're not all copycat doing the same thing each and every team that you watch in the NBA is, 7 seconds or less offense and threes and layups. I can't agree with that. Reese is hogging up the lane to throw up garbage. I mean, I think you got an AngelReese problem because I just gave you that analysis, and I'm here to tell you it's just like it's you have to give players chances to develop. You have to give players a chance to improve. Once again, 13 and 12 as a rookie isn't bad. She's going to develop. She's going to get better. And if I can see that, just being an analyst and somebody that loves the game and watches the game and watches a lot of basketball, don't listen to me. Listen to some of these Hall of Fame all-time pros talking about AngelReese, like a Kevin Garnett, which we was talking about her face-up game, talking about her hitting the glass and being active and grabbing boards similar to Sean Marion, talking about how AngelReese on the perimeter, when she gets switched out to guards, is able to defend them and also defend big men in the post. Her defense is also very valuable as well. She is probably the most impactful player on the Chicago Sky, even though I feel like the best player is Carter, the guard. But for its impactful, it is AngelReese, and we can't. You got to give credit when credit is due, which is why I'm going back to the original message and also the original title of this stream. CaitlinClark and AngelReese are both generational rookies, and we have something that we haven't seen in a while. For us the merchandise, for us the sales, for us the selling out in arenas, for us the overall impact and having eyes on the sports, for us just building a popularity. These two girls deserve credit, and they also need to deserve some more money because the level of eyes and just the level of people talking about the WNBA from the casual perspective of people that didn't watch the WNBA until CaitlinClark got drafted, until AngelReese got drafted. We got to give credit when credit is due. Jeffrey Pierce, Reese has athleticism and heart, but she has many years to develop a game. What makes us believe that's going to change? I mean, you can say the same thing for a lot of players, and based on the level of play in college does not determine if you're going to a player not developing in college to their fullest potential has a lot to do with just not playing with better players in general. Like, imagine CaitlinClark playing with like UConn. Imagine her playing with some of the best players. Now they're in the WNBA. Now they have the best player development. Now they have coaches. Now they're playing against better players each and every day and practicing against better players. You have no choice but to get better. And we already seen her coming off a break, even CaitlinClark working on the floater. CaitlinClark wasn't doing no floaters in college. Like AngelReese wasn't really shooting no jumpers in college because they really didn't have to because they were so lethal, they were so dominant. So that's what makes me believe they're going to change because we're already in develop because we're already seeing it right now. We're actually seeing those things come into fruition right now on the basketball court, and they just had a month off. Imagine what they're going to do when they have over a year off, unless they go play overseas and things of that nature. I don't know what they're going to do, but hopefully they don't have to. Maybe the 3-on-3 league can produce that. Breanna Stewart is I think Sue Bird and them are cooking up together. But we gotta give credit when credit is due, man. And I love, once again, both of these ladies' passion. I love their development. I love how both of them are generational rookies. And this class, we may be talking about this class the same way that we talk about the 2003 NBA draft class with LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, Chris Bosh, because I know a lot of the shine and the talk is about CaitlinClark and also Angel Reese, but Cardoso is coming. Aaliyah Edwards is coming. Cameron Brink is going to be has the potential to be one of the best defensive players in the league. Arika Jackson is going to be one of the best guards or wing to play in the NBA, in the WNBA in the next few years. She is a bucket. She has been consistently averaging 13 points as a rookie, 12 and 13 points as a rookie over like the last, 7 or 8 games. Like, she's finally finding her flow, her rhythm, her jumper is there. She plays the game the right way. She can attack. She doesn't do too much on the basketball court. Like, she's really, this class is very, very special. It has the potential to be what the 2003 NBA draft class with Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Chris Bosh, Carmelo Anthony did for the modern game, did change the league forever for the NBA. And we're seeing the WNBA in this draft class right now potentially have that same type of impact already, with AngelReese and CaitlinClark becoming the most marketable, the most popular, and also generational rookies already. And those other girls that I mentioned, they're coming. Jackson is coming. Cardoso her potential is high. Cameron Brink is coming. Aaliyah Edwards, as soon as she gets a point guard, and don't let Paige come down there, because the Mystique, they could probably going to have an opportunity to draft Paige, and then they were reunited from the Connecticut games. It can get scary. It could get scary. I agree, it's a good class. College ball has been producing better players. Yeah, in the WNBA and for the women's game on the college side, we got players coming out. Fly J is coming. Paige is coming. And I'm going to save a video on who really is coming, because we're going to have a real conversation about the only player that I feel like can take CaitlinClark's reign in the future for us, like being the best player in the WNBA. I'm gonna say that for another stream, but I love the game of basketball from the ladies' side, because once again, we're seeing different play styles for teams. We're seeing also the game is predicated on skill set and not just athleticism. I love how some games are more half court oriented, and I love seeing the sets being run and things of that nature. But I also love the fact that the game is just really, really becoming more skilled from the women's side, and that's due to evolution. You can't change it. You only can get ready for it. A lot of times people always want to talk about the past, always want to talk about, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. Love those players, love those guys, Hall of Famers. Michael Jordan's the GOAT to many people. But the problem is, when we look at the evolution of the game of basketball, we start seeing different eras that are just way more, I'm not going to say competitive, but just way more skilled than some of the eras in the past. And you only can play the era that you were in. So that's why sometimes it's a dicey situation when we talk about comparing eras, when we talk about comparing players. But at the same time, if you have eyes and if you understand evolution, you're understanding that as great as things were in the past, and as great as some of these legends were in the past, and these legends could play in today's game, but those are the legends. A lot of the rest of some of those players that were playing back then, a lot of them ain't touching the court with some of these players. That's not even the stars, but the players on the bench. because they're more skilled, they're quicker, they're faster, more athletic. Like it's really different. And even when we talk about the WNBA game, we're starting to see players, i.e., CaitlinClark, who is the first of her kind coming into the WNBA with her level of skill set, shot making ability, playmaking, court vision, speed, like being a 4-level scorer. Sabrina was the first one I was like, yo, she got a little carry in her for as like her game. Like she's different. But Clark got a little bit more. Like she got a little bit of everything. So when we start seeing these players like Sabrina, like CaitlinClark come into the WNBA and how they're leaving their imprint in their style and how fluid they are and how the level of creativity, and also Enrique from Dallas as well, like the shot making ability, the handle ability, like it's only going to get better. And before we know it, due to evolution, we're about to start seeing a lot of players with this similar skill set. It's not just going to be an outlier, it's going to be what we expect. And even if you're looking at the NBA, it's about to be a time in this upcoming decade, potentially, where we're about to see a lot of Kevin Durant disciples. We saw it in South Sudan team in the Olympics where everybody was 6'7" and up, shooting threes, shooting over top, shooting post fadeaways. Kevin Durant disciples. We got Victor Wembanyama coming out and saying how his favorite player was Kevin Durant. Who does Victor Wembanyama play like? He played like KD. Like it's evolution is a part of hoops. You can either embrace it, you can either accept it, or you can either hate on it. And I'm not saying that everything about the modernized game of basketball and the women's game or the men's game is just perfect. I'm not saying that at all. But I am saying that you have to look and watch and just understand that the play style, the game, the speed, the talent, the skill, it's a little bit different now compared to the past. And that can be due to the training facilities. That can be due to kids are playing earlier. That can be due to overseas in the game globally has become bigger. A lot of people want to play basketball. Basketball is becoming as big as soccer for us around the world. It's a lot of things that contribute to the evolution of the game of basketball when we talk about the NBA, and we also talk about the WNBA as well. But I'm here to tell you, like from an excitement standpoint, offensively at least, I enjoy it. I do not enjoy it from the defensive side of the basketball court, and I don't enjoy it for everybody playing the same type of styles. But at the end of the day, we do know that the NBA is a copycat league, and the NBA also goes through different phases. We had the small ball phase that we were in, and we're in the analytics boom phase where everybody's shooting threes and layups. But eventually, we're going to go back to wanting, bigs, drafting bigs. And you look at some of the past championship teams, size is still very, very important. And now we're in a situation where in the NBA, a lot of GMs, a lot of teams, a lot of organizations, they don't necessarily want to draft small guards. It's going to come to a point in time where you got to be really, really great to even be drafted in the top 10 or the lottery to be a small guard. We're already starting to see how teams are trying to kill the small guards out the league because of the defensive standpoint of people saying, well, they're a mismatch on the court defensively. That's why you got to be really, really lethal. In this next stage, we're about to see you got to be really, really lethal to be a small guard, anything under 6'3", to really, really have a chance in this league. You got to be generational, whether it's your shooting, your passing ability, and whatnot, but you don't have to be a generational player to have a chance of getting drafted extremely high because the league is going back to getting extremely, extremely big. Victor Real, I'm sorry, but Magic and Bird and Jordan were still dominating far more creative players. I said that. I'm not saying that Magic and Bird and Jordan would not dominate. That's, I think, what people get confused when you talk about the past, Forrest, Magic, Bird, and Jordan, I love Larry Bird. I love Michael Jordan. I love what they brought to the game of basketball. But they are the legends. They were the best. They are the most skilled. But it's people in their era today that was starting and playing that wouldn't compete at a high level or even probably play in today's game. No disrespect to Steve Kerr, phenomenal head coach, but he ain't starting. He ain't the sixth man in today's league. Mark Price ain't starting. He ain't probably gonna be the sixth man in today's league. Like we gotta keep it a bean. We gotta keep it a buck. Like let's not get it twisted. Like the legends, of course, will play. The legends will, of course, will dominate. The legends, of course, would be able to compete and hold their own. But the game is better from six on down than the players that played in the past from six on down. And that's just the truth. Whether you want to talk about the dribbling, whether you want to talk about the creativity, whether you want to talk about the shot making ability, whether you want to talk about the athleticism, because things change over time. That's just the case. And I think what makes people uncomfortable is that people don't like change, which is fine. The depth of talent is extremely way deeper and better, but then some people will say, have an argument with the overall game is losing his purity. And I agree to that notion some point. It's like you have pros and cons of both. And I already went over that for it's like me missing the play styles that every different teams have. If you watch the 2000s, I missed the Spurs. We just talked about Cardoso and Angel Reese. Talking about people saying in the chat that Cardoso is better than Reese and Reese is clogging up the paint for Cardoso. Like, no, it's like both of these players are going to be impactful. Both of these players are going to play together. But in a modernized game, most of the times we don't see two big men on the court, but the WNBA is different than the NBA due to the fact that it's not the same level of spacing and it's not the same game because teams have their own identity. So just like that's going on in the WNBA, I miss that in the NBA as well, where teams had their own identity. If you looked at the old Spurs, if you looked at just like how the Phoenix Suns were playing extremely fast, now everybody plays like the Phoenix Suns. Like when you had teams that were playing a lot of zone on defense, and there's a physicality in the league. Like I miss all those things as well. But I'm not going to sit here and say that offensively and depth-wise and talent-wise that it's comparable to the past when it's not. There's some things that a lot of people miss, but it's also some things that just due to evolution, the game has improved dramatically from a skill set and talent standpoint that the leagues in the past and the eras in the past did not have. Phillips says even a player like UNESCO can play a physically similar game to Caitlin. No one can match her mental side or have the basketball IQ or decision making second to none. And I agree. I think Sabrina is a more complete player than Clark right now due to the fact that she utilizes the second level in the basketball court, and also she has a better floater as well. But she can pass the ball too, but not like Sabrina can pass the ball, but not like CaitlinClark, of course. CaitlinClark's basketball IQ and overall feel for the game and court vision is, once again, we're at the point where we're not talking about best passers in the WNBA. We're talking about best passers and court vision and IQ and feel for the game. We're talking about the best of all time, regardless of gender, when we talk about CaitlinClark. So when you're talking about her decision making is second to none, I 100% agree with you. But when I'm talking about overall best complete all around game, right now, it's Sabrina. She's the best guard in the WNBA. Caitlin has some time to get there, and I think she has a possibility to even get there by, who knows, maybe as soon as next year. I don't know how quickly she's going to develop, but to me, CaitlinClark is already a top 10 player in the league. I think Sabrina is top 3, top 5. So she's already knocking on the door and extremely close. But as of right now, due to her all-around game, due to her being able to play on and off the ball and within the offense, I think that's what CaitlinClark is going to have to continue to develop. And I'm not saying that she's going to be something similar to Sabrina because her games are very, very different. But at the same time, I think CaitlinClark can develop a little bit more off the ball, develop in the second level in the basketball court, and sometimes play within the offense more instead of not just controlling it, but letting somebody else control. But it's like, why take the ball out of a point guard's hands? So it's complicated, but you're definitely right, man. Does she tell you right about it? Kate has elite unicorn court vision. Yeah, she's different, man. She's special. She's one of a kind. I think the title of this stream is, AngelReese and CaitlinClark. They both keep making WNBA history. They're both generational rookies. We have to give credit where credit is due, tip our cap to them. They're generational rookies. But at the same time, it excites me even more thinking about their ultimate potential of what they can be, especially CaitlinClark. Because I mean, as great as she's been playing these past, like, I want to say 10 games, and even coming out of the break from the Olympics, it's like you're starting to see things that, like, yo, it's starting to finally fully come together. And when it fully comes together, God bless the WNBA, because it's officially going to be her league. And then once again, the mentality, what I talked about earlier in the stream, her and CaitlinClark, they have that same mentality of that aggressiveness, that dogness, that shit talking, that I'm going to pop my shit on the court and I'm going to let you know. And sometimes I may get frustrated and show my emotions. But overall, I'm not scared of nobody. I want to be the best. When CaitlinClark was waving the fans, telling them to come on, and she was trying to walk to her bench, but then we saw Skylar kind of shove her a little bit. But I love that. And then the coach got mad because CaitlinClark went through her bench and things of that nature. But I loved it. Like, and then they were still chirping, and she was like, stop crying on the opposite side of the bench, on the opposite end of the court. Like, I love that, because that lets me know that, like, she's about it. She's about hoop. She's about that talking trash. And all the great players, all the ones that become all-time greats, the all-time greats. I'm not just talking about all-time great legends and this and that and Hall of Famers. I'm talking about the all-time, the one name type of players: LeBron, Bird, Jordan, Bryant, like Shaq, Clark, potentially, Taurasi, Swoops. They all pop shit. They all talk shit. And that's what you love, because they have that same mentality. And that's something you can't teach, man. Wait, who hosts the most double-doubles in NBA history? I'll wait. Double-doubles garbage stat created to me. See, when people talk about the double-doubles a garbage stat, that lets me know that your basketball IQ is probably a little bit off, because if you watch the WNBA compared to the NBA, getting rebounds is harder in the WNBA due to the fact that it's not as spaced out as the NBA. So you can't sit up and say that the double-double is a garbage stat. If Sabrina were in CeCe's place on the Fever, or Asia with all her talent were in CeCe's position, would their impact be better, the same, or worse? Woo, that's a good question, Philip. That's a good question. Asia Wilson's impact will be the same due to the fact that she's the best player in the game. She's the best two-way player in the game for us. Offensively, score a variety of ways. If her three-point is going and cooking, she's literally unguardable. Defensively, she plays in the post, and she guards on the perimeter, and she shoots the gaps and creates steals and easy fast break transition points. So her playing in a speed type of offense like the indianaFever, or playing on the indianaFever with Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston as well, I think her impact would be similar. Now, I'm not going to sit up and say that their team would be as great. I'm not going to say their team would be as great because of the fact that, like, she's on a super team now. So, of course, her team wouldn't be as great, but they would still be in a playoff team. For Sabrina Esco, she played on the indianaFever. I think they would be okay. I think they would be probably a little worse due to the fact that I don't know if Sabrina can play with the speed that CaitlinClark plays with, and I don't think her passing ability is as similar as CaitlinClark's, or it's not comparable to CaitlinClark's. Like CaitlinClark's overall court vision and passing ability is God tier. So for the speed, I don't think they would be better. So I appreciate that question. That was a fire question, man. Rebounds are easier than a W because there's so many missed layups. CC is impacting her teammates' stats. Yeah, man. I mean, CaitlinClark is generational. When we talk about passing the ball, when we talk about facilitating, she's one-on-one. And when we talk about rebounding, we talk about grabbing double-doubles, AngelReese is one-on-one. That's why both of them are generational rookies. Both of them are leading in merchandise sales. Both of them are the most popular players in the game of women's basketball right now. And you got to give credit when credit is due. And the future is incredibly bright, man. And make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Ma K. Smith. I appreciate y'all for hopping in the chat. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also follow me on all the platforms. AKIS NBA. I'm always talking about basketball. I'm always talking about everything when we talk about hoops, because the game is the game. Pure is pure. And I appreciate y'all.